Welcome in. In this video, I'm going to be sharing 6 practical ways that you can communicate with your family and friends around your decision and desire to homeschool your children. Maybe you have people who are not supportive or they don't understand why you would want to homeschool. So I'm going to talk about some of that here in this video. My name is Christy Whistler. I am an intuitive and astrologer, also the parent of 2 magical, multi-dimensional kids, and we are a homeschool family. So I'm going to share some of the ways I was able to work with my family and the friends in our lives to help them understand why that decision was the best one for us. And I do have a longer video, which I will go ahead and link below for you if you want to go a little bit deeper into understanding how you may go about doing this, or, probing questions for yourself as I share through stories what I did. But this video here is going to be just 6 quick tips. Now, I would love to work with you if you do need support and you find you're like, nope, I've got family who just doesn't understand and I'm scared out of my wits to go and do this homeschooling thing. I do offer coaching consult calls, and as well as, astrology birth chart readings, so we can even dig in and look, what are the better ways for your children to learn and how to experience life? So you will find the information below in the description, christywhistler.com. And please like this video and subscribe to this channel. That really helps to break out of the YouTube algorithm to find parents like you who are really wanting to transform and change your life and your relationship with your children. All right, so let's get into this. So my tip number 1, find out your why. Why are you wanting to homeschool your children? What about traditional schooling isn't working for you? And what about it isn't working for your child even? Okay. How do you think that homeschooling can shift this? What ways do you believe that homeschooling can give your child what they need that traditional schooling can't? The reason why I'm stressing these questions is because being clear on your why is so important, and you will need to be able to communicate that with your family members. And your why will be different for each of you. And in fact, it may be different for each child that you have because they have different needs. So really zero in on what that why is. Tip number 2, find out their why. Why are these family members or friends resistant or afraid about homeschooling? What unconscious beliefs do they have around homeschooling? Maybe they're concerned about socialization, and they believe that homeschoolers won't be as social as traditional kids who go to traditional school. Or maybe they're worried that their kids won't be able to deal with these real-world environments without this experience of school. So when you find out their why, then you can identify what that sticking point is, and the better you're able to then do your due diligence to help them understand. So if socialization, for example, is the problem, then you can go and do researching about socialization and what that actually is and can be for homeschoolers. Maybe you can bring them and have them meet with other people to discuss that problem. Or do you see what I mean? It's like when you find out the why, then you can then go address it. Tip number 3, research, which is what I alluded to in tip number 2. It's really important to educate yourself, because the better you understand how homeschooling works or can work, the nuances, the opportunities, then you're better able to explain this to your loved ones. And Also focus in on those areas that your loved ones may be having fears or concerns with your research and your learning journey. So it's you're taking their why they're afraid, and you're giving them the answers of why they don't need to be afraid or worried. My tip number 4 for you is connect with other homeschoolers. Nothing helps more than hearing the stories and the journey from other people who've done that, who've walked that road, and who've come out the other side of it. It goes a long way to assuring our fears and the fears of our family, because this idea of homeschooling can be so new and different to many of us. And when you hear from people who've already stepped off this traditional path of schooling, it's a huge difference in easing those fears. To redirect them, to re-understand, or just kind of open your mind in a whole new way that you couldn't have done without having those conversations, because it's like you didn't even know what was possible until you actually opened the door to what real education is and it can be. So it's you're leaving the schoolroom behind and you're seeing a wide world of opportunities, and there's no one else better to be a guide for you on that and for your loved ones than people who've already done it. So reach out and connect to people who are homeschoolers already. And how can you connect? Well, online is a really big one. There are so many groups online. There's so many Facebook groups, and I'm sure that you'll even be able to find one for your area. So go and find your local homeschool groups. Go to their park days, meet people, really put yourself outside of your comfort zone. I know it's not comfortable going and meeting new people, but do it. Do it. It makes a huge difference, and it's going to be really helpful for your family who is resistant to this homeschooling idea, okay? And another great tip to kind of add into this one, think of this like 4.2 or something, homeschool conferences. Go to one if you can. If you have a local one, go. This is such a wonderful way to see what the possibilities and opportunities are as a homeschooling family. And tip number 5, bring the family member with you. So, just for example, I just mentioned about homeschool conferences, and both of the grandmas for my kids, Kate and Eric, were a little like, not so sure about this homeschooling thing. So what I did is I brought them to our local homeschool conference, and it gave them that opportunity to expand their minds to see what homeschooling actually is, as opposed to all the assumptions and beliefs that they already had through society and their own lived experience. So it was a great way to really help them see the vision that I was having for my family and our future. And when you bring family with you, okay, it's really important to help them, as I said, expand this understanding of homeschooling that they have and of you. Now, we are each different, and your decision to homeschool and your reason why, okay, is going to be very different than mine even. And it's important to communicate your whys to your resistant family members. And when you bring them with you to meet these homeschoolers, to go to these conferences, you really start becoming a bridge for that. And my final tip for you is tip number 6. The learning happens by living life. So your child didn't suddenly start learning when they walked into a school building, right? Communicate with these family members how the learning and education has been happening for your child this entire time. Think of it like, babies learning to walk. They don't need to go to school to learn how to walk. They are intrinsically motivated to do this. to learn how to communicate in language and so forth. So this is really about helping these loved ones and family members expand their view on education, and that it is not restricted to four walls and books and someone talking at them. Education is also emotional intelligence. It's being able to see and hold space for loss and tragedy, which is something that I really got to teach my daughter when we were at Earthquake Lake in Montana, where 19-20 people lost their lives 40 years ago. Gosh, no, 60 years ago. This was in the 1960s, okay? And that was part of the learning, not just, okay, we're learning about Yellowstone. It's like, no, we're learning about how do we sit and be in something that's difficult and hard and still honor it. So education is about being in the world and living our lives. Your child is the absolute best guide on what they are learning, how they are learning, and how oftentimes us as adults, we are the ones that need to unlearn everything we thought we knew about education and learning in order to even see what it is that our children are learning and being educated about. So if you want to know more about this, please see my other video for like an in-depth look at some of these stories that I'm sharing on my journey, as well as how to, again, look at the nuances of this. But I do hope that these 6-ish tips with some, little points in there as well, have been very helpful and supportive for you and your family and your journey. If you do need help and guidance with that, please contact me. I do offer consult coaching calls as well as astrology birth chart readings. And please like this video and subscribe to this channel. It really helps me to get out there to more parents like you who are ready to step off this traditional path that we've been taught, and how to forge and trailblaze a new direction that is right for you and for your family. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.